Hi guys. So I got myself a Mother's Day present. um and it came in quicker than what I thought cuz I should pat myself on the back for, you know, being a mom, especially a single mom, you know, with all of those little mama bear tendencies and doing the best I could in my situation. um, you know, Despite everything, they came out to be decent kids, you know? So, well, amazing kids, but um at least in my opinion. But, anyway, um I got myself this Mother's Day present, and I this was a deck that came out in 2017. Even though this is technically more of a beginner's guide to tarot, or a tarot deck for beginners, but I saw some people talking about it and kind of looked at it, and I thought, well, this is kind of something I'm kind of interested in looking at, because there's a couple other decks that I want to get to pair with this. But that's going to take a minute. you know, waiting for things to be affordable. But anyway, it's Carrie Ward, and it's the Good Karma Tarot. So here's the box, and once I get the cards out, then we're going to do a little story time. So, and when I got this, I only paid like $6 for it. Let me set down my phone. I only paid like $6 for it, but it came today, still in the shrink wrap. The cards were still bound, all that good stuff. So basically, I got the deck, wasn't even open. And that happens sometimes when you get used decks. But, so, here's the guidebook, and it's a pretty thick guidebook. And the pictures are big, which is great, for me at least. So, I haven't had a chance to look. There are some tarot spreads in here for people to use. Like, I hadn't had a chance to look at the guidebook because life be lifing. And it's in this type of box, and it's got the little plastic thing, insert thing to separate the cards. So, go through the first set here. So, the reason why I wanted to do a story time is because I wanted to talk about a lady named Nellie Myers, who lived in my state, and she was a very famous spiritualist person. She did palmistry, she did tarot, she did a lot of other things. And she had all of these celebrities who would come in, and she would have parties and stuff at their home, her and her husband. And, like Joan Crawford and a lot of these different celebrities, would come to her for, their readings. And she tried to distance herself because she didn't want to be connected to the occult, even though back then, when you did any type of divination, people still tried to connect you to the cult in the 1940s. And I don't know much about her reading process or her tarot process, because she was born and passed away way before my time. And her house in Indianapolis is now a museum, which is astounding to me given the bias and prejudice when it comes to religion in this state. But hey. But anyway, she was, all these really famous people were coming to her. And like I said, I don't know much about her process. I don't know what tarot was like in the 1940s. I don't know if it came in guidebooks or how it was done, if she was an intuitive reader. I don't know. Be interesting to find out what tarot was like in the 1940s. But She was always doing these readings, and an actress known as Carol Lombard, who came to her quite often, came to Indiana or Indianapolis to do something concerning war bonds. And she was doing, some, fundraising stuff and all of that. And she took it upon herself to stop by and have a conversation with Nellie and ask Nellie for a reading. So Nellie, did the reading for her, and she informed Carol Lombard, don't get on the plane because you're not going to make it if you get on this plane. I see bad things happening if you go and you take your flight. Well, Carol decided that I'm going to go and I'm going to take the plane anyway, even though I predicted it. Even though I got this reading, she told me I'm going to do it anyway, instead of, taking a car or doing something else, because she had other places that she had to be, with agents and all of that good stuff. So Carol got on the plane to do what she needed to do, and the plane crashed, and Carol Lombard didn't make it. She passed away. So this is my ethical question to anybody, just like a philosophical thing to kind of think about when it comes to speaking things into being, right? So did Nellie doing a reading bring it into being? Did Nellie speaking it aloud to Carol make this event happen? Or did Carol, not listening to Nellie and disregarding what Nellie said and getting on the plane anyway, instead of taking a car or delaying her trip, whatever, because, the weather wasn't great. So who brought that into being when you think about it? And it comes to celebrities like Ritchie Valens, for example. When he was in school, it's kind of not the way that they show it in the movie La Bamba. He did have his grandfather's funeral, and he went to the bathroom. While he went to the bathroom, two planes collided with each other and rained down all the parts and everything, rained down on the school in California. Now, Ritchie was not there, so Ritchie did not get hurt, but his best friend did. And after that happened, Ritchie Valens somehow knew that he was going to pass away in a plane crash. And Ritchie Valens would not fly, refused to fly. He hated planes. He took buses everywhere. They tried everything to get him to start flying. Well, things on the bus went bad. The heater went out. They were having problems with the bus. They had a show to be at. So Ritchie Valens and the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly had a coin toss as to who was going to get to ride the plane. Of course, Ritchie with a coin toss. And what happened was they're flying with bad weather. Back then, weather prediction wasn't what it is now. And the plane crashed, and all three were killed. So Ritchie's intuition told him, if I ever get on the plane, I'm gonna die. But Ritchie, with his instincts, or maybe it was already predestined that Ritchie pass away. And so you know, he didn't make it. So was Richie already knew how he was going to pass away, or ignoring his intuition? And even though he was sick, and getting on the bus instead of taking the plane, you know, taking the plane instead of riding the bus. So could it have been predestined? Yeah, you know, there's the whole thing with soul contracts. But it's just something that I often ask myself when it comes to things like intuition and doing divination. Because, you know, that's, you've got to have intuition to do anything. And yeah, with witchcraft and all of that, yes, it is based a lot in science and psychology, but then you have to ask yourself, what's intuition and what's science and psychology? Because then you start to doubt yourself and doubt your abilities. And that's something that you should never do, is self-doubt when it comes to witchcraft. So, I forgot, guys. Here's the back, and yeah, the cards aren't glossy, but it's really bright and colorful, and it's more of a modern deck. But that's just something that, as I'm doing this walkthrough, you know, something for you guys to kind of think about. And this deck's all inclusive, and that's another thing I like about the deck. So, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I got another video in the works here, hopefully in a bit. And, you know, peace, love, and light. You know, if you want to comment, thank you. I appreciate it. If you don't, you don't. But please do. If you feel like anything I said had any merit, or if you like the deck, maybe it's a deck you want to purchase, as I put it away. But anyway, guys, peace, love, and light, and blessed be. And I'll see you in the next video.